Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says Israel and Gaza cannot return to the status quo. Watch this.
I think we know two things. We can't go back to the status quo. They can't go back to the status quo with Hamas being in a position in terms of its governance of Gaza to repeat what it did. At the same time, what I've heard from the Israelis is absolutely no intent, no desire to be running Gaza themselves.
KT McFarland with me now. Okay, KT, any idea who could run Gaza when this is over?
Nobody has any idea who's going to run Gaza when it's over. And the way you think of it is three problems. So who's left in Gaza when this is over? And let's just assume, by the way, as a precondition, that Israel does go in and destroys Hamas. Political leadership, military depots. So who's left? There are probably 1 million Palestinians who want out. But where do they go? Egypt doesn't want them. Jordan doesn't want them. Israel doesn't want them. They probably can't come to the United States because they can't be vetted. So you've got a problem of where are the refugees and who's left? Then the second part of the problem is, okay, so what is this new government? What would it be? Hamas is gone, and Hamas runs everything in Gaza. Could you have free and fair elections? That seems pretty unlikely. Hamas was elected with supposedly free and fair elections. Would the UN come in and maybe have somehow oversee some kind of transition to power? Nobody knows. Does the UN want that job? Probably not. Then you have Palestinians on the West Bank of Egypt, on the east side of Israel, on the West Bank. They might think, well, we could run it, but nobody wants them to run it. And then the final thing, so one is who's there? Number two, who's running it? And then the third question, who's not running it? Because unless you stop Iran's ability to fund whoever is running Gaza, it'll just be Hamas 2.0.
Good Lord, what an awful prospect. Republican Congressman Pat Fallon was on this program earlier today. He said Biden is emboldening China and Russia. Watch this, please.
When you have a president for the last 3 years that hasn't projected strength, he's only projected weakness. And I think this has emboldened not only Iran, but I think it's emboldened China and certainly Russia. They just launched a full-scale invasion 2 years ago with Ukraine, and they didn't do anything for the 4 years President Trump was in office.
Okay, KT, do you think we're headed for a wider war as we speak?
We don't know. And the congressman is absolutely right. President Biden, he enabled all of this to happen, whether it was Russia and Ukraine, whether it was Iran, enriching Iran then encouraging its Palestinian proxies, whether it's Hezbollah and Hamas. But where this goes next, the only way you can have any possible deterrence of this not becoming a wider war is for the United States to stand shoulder to shoulder with Israel. Not only because Israel realizes America has my back, we can trust what comes next, but because if the rest of the world, whether it's China, whether it's Russia, whether it's Iran, whether it's Hezbollah, looks and says, wait, it's not just taking on Israel, it's taking on the United States. And maybe we really don't want to do that. That's the only way you stop this from escalating. So although Biden he enabled this problem to happen, I think that his strong support of Israel since this started happening is a good thing. The question I have is in 2 weeks, where are we? After we start seeing massive civilian casualties in Gaza, will the president continue to be strong with Israel?
Good question. Senator Mitch McConnell, he says China, Russia and Iran are the new axis of evil. Watch this, please. Roll it.
You have to respond to conditions that actually exist, that are a threat to the United States. The Iranians are a threat to us as well. And so this is an emergency. It's an emergency that we step up and deal with this axis of evil, China, Russia, Iran, because it's an immediate threat to the United States.
The senator is really talking about the new world order, isn't he? Which has just appeared in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it is the new world order, and it's one that we're not in a great position in. Now, if you look at all the three countries and the bad guy countries, right, the axis of evil, China, Russia, Iran. Russia and Iran are rich because of high oil prices. So you could deal with that by bankrupting them. Why? Because we could have American energy production, which would bankrupt them. Then they would be in that same axis of evil, but far less powerful. China, meanwhile, it takes a different strategy to deal with China. And not only a military strategy, but an economic and diplomatic strategy. And one way to do that is to strengthen our alliances in Asia, not just our military alliances with Japan, Korea, Philippines, potentially India, but are economic, because China won't go to war. They're looking at this. They don't want to have a war like Ukraine. They don't want to have a war like Israel's having. They want to have an economic war, because that's the war they think they can win. So we're in such a mess right now. There is a way to thread the needle, but it's going to take real conviction and staying power and some think-out-of-the-box solutions from the Biden administration, which heretofore has not had any of those things.
And they've got to spend some serious money, too, on defense and the military, and that's the way it is. KT, thanks for being with us this morning. Always appreciated. See you again soon.